being in this room because you did the and then some to get here. And all those people wishing they had done it too. It's always fun to work towards a special class. Always, to me, that was just like a little, to go for. What I loved about Mary Kay for me, because I can only keep focused for so long. So we'd have leadership in January, and then we'd have career conference 3 months later. I would set a goal for career conference. So leadership was for directors. And so in March, I'd have career conference. So I just I could stay focused, bam, I get recognition. And that was fun. And I could say, oh, celebrate. And then it would be seminar. So I'd work, celebrate the girls' seminar. And then we'd have a fall retreat. So I'd work. It worked for me to have these shorter little things that I could go, wow. When I had to look at the whole year, I sometimes would be a little like, wow, that's a lot for a whole year. But if I could break it down to hit these targets along the way, it worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you too. What I'm going to share with you today, it's interesting. As an Emeritine, you look at what you learned in your life, and I shared a lot about it. The directors are training you on booking, coaching, selling, and recruiting, product knowledge, all that good stuff. Soak that in, learn that stuff, learn those skills. I just come from a different place. You're in your house, no one else is around. How do you stay motivated? Self-motivation is sometimes a difficult thing to do. So that's what I'm going to share with you today is self-motivation for higher achievement. How's that?
Yes.
Good. Well, I hope that there is something in what I share with you today that you can apply to your life and your business right away. I believe that when we get this self-motivation figured out, it is a skill that can demonstrate to your family and to your team both. I created that handout that might be helpful for you to taking some notes on, as well as kind of give you an outline so that you can review it often to find, if you find yourself that your self-motivation is maybe slipping, or maybe even to teach someday as a sales director. I think one of the battles that we all fight is that battle of discouragement. Our dreams don't always come true on our timetables. We go through disappointments, missed goals, and adversity. And sometimes it's easy to lose our enthusiasm, our happiness, and our joy, and sometimes passion for life and our business. It's in those times that it's really good to have family and friends who encourage you, and it's good to have a recruiter or a sales director or NSD to cheer you on. But one thing that I've learned is that other people cannot keep you encouraged. Other people cannot keep you cheered up. They may give you a boost, but they can help you from time to time. But if you really want to live a life of success, that encouragement and self-motivation has to come from the inside. We must learn to self-motivate ourselves. I think it's especially true when times get tough and things aren't really going your way. And at those moments, you may not really feel like pursuing your dreams. It's never going to get any better. Or I might as well just settle for where I'm at. Where deep down in your heart, there has to be a resolve, a strength on the inside that says, I refuse to settle for where I am. I know that God has a great plan for my life and my business, and I'm pressing forward and becoming everything that He created me to be. You must draw strength, encouragement, and self-motivation from within. Sometimes when you need encouragement the most, those that you are hoping are going to encourage you won't be there for you. You know that friend that you usually have that calls, has something else going on herself, or your husband has something else going on himself, or your sales director's out of town, or she's got her own things going on. But when you learn to dig deep down and encourage and motivate yourself, there's going to be real freedom for you. When you're in difficult times and you're tempted to get down, whether it's a bad sales month or a team member quits or you miss a goal, don't dwell on the negatives and replay it over and over. All the reasons why things won't work or how impossible your situation is. You have to stop that chatter in your head, that negative self-talk. So instead of play those things, what I'd like to see you do, just a second, did I do this one already? I'm sorry. Hang on, I gotta see. No, this is what we're doing. I just been talking for 2 days, too much. I said, I've done this one already. Anyway, you gotta keep this correct up here. And you know what has happened that's been good before. Replay your successes. We don't celebrate enough in Mary Kay, and I want you to learn to celebrate what you do well. Because you celebrate for a little time, then you're back at it. Learn to celebrate. You want your kids to celebrate. When my grandson comes home, we celebrate his day at school. And we make a big deal. We do crazy dances. We do all sorts of things. But I want him to learn to celebrate and not just be so driven and now ever recognize when he's done something really well. We as people need to learn to do that. We as people need to do that. It'll make a difference. It will make a difference for you. I want to share with you from a devotional that I read recently. I thought it would be relevant for you to just really kind of help you. It's the support system. When a support system is not always available to you, you always have God. So I kind of want you just to close your eyes and picture God saying this to you. I'm constantly working in your life, even though you may not realize it, especially when you're tired or hurt or the day has too many troubles. You may not have noticed me at all, but I am there. When you're tired and I'm the one who's gently urging you on. When you're hurt, I'm the one who's softly whispering, it's going to be okay. And when you're overwhelmed, I'm the one who's running before you, clearing the path of the things so that you can face today. In those times when you felt the weakest, I've been working the hardest for you. And though you may not see me right now, one day you will look back and know that I was right there all along, giving you all that you needed. Your memories of those days will be bright with the glow of my presence. I hope that gives you peace, knowing that you are not alone. You know, so much of self-motivation is the conversations that we have in our heads. So we've got to change those. You know, it will make a world of difference for you. We talked a little bit about how to remember names. How many of you have ever said, you know, I can never remember names, or I can never find anything, or everything I eat goes right to my, or I can't seem to get organized, or I never seem to get any place on time, or if only I had more time, and the list goes on and on, doesn't it? Did you hear any of your own past thinking? Many of these things we repeat to ourselves are the same things that we've been saying for years, unless we do something about it. We still have these same programs. The good news is that we can change our programs by changing our self-talk. So here are 3 steps. Number 1, monitor your own self-talk. To do this, listen to everything you say when you talk to yourself now or when you talk to anyone else. Not only for what you say out loud, but for what you think. If you were going to keep a notebook, write down everything you say next week and you might be astonished. You know, I heard one time it said, what would happen if everything that came out of your mouth actually came true? Would you change your speech? I hope so. Number 2, edit everything you say and everything you think. You have the ability to make choices about what you say and what you think. When you start editing your self-talk, you'll stop yourself from getting any more wrong messages programmed in your brain. Number 3, listen to the right kind of self-talk. The easiest way to do this is to record it and listen to it over and over. You have it on your phone. When you listen to your new self-talk now, for even a few minutes each day, you begin to replace your old programs that held you back with positive new programs that move you forward in the area of your life that you choose to work on. You probably have that ability, right? Or you may have done it before, but are you doing it now? So you have your cell phone with you all of the time in your car, when you're getting ready. Just listen to your self-talk, positive self-talk over and over again. You can create the things you want. Change your self-talk and you change your programs. Change your programs and you change your life. One of the first books I ever read as a new consultant was What You Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. It's old as the hills. What You Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's an older book, but certainly made an impact on my life. Last time I checked, it was available on Amazon for next to nothing but shipping. But he opened my eyes to the conversations that I was having in my own mind. They were not uplifting conversations, if you know what I mean. I actually devoured the book. And I created an audio tape, now that was 25 years ago, of the positive affirmations that I needed to hear over and over to change that bad tape that had already been playing in my mind. Things like, I focus my attention on the things I can control. I know what I believe about myself is what will become. So I believe the best for myself. I choose my thoughts. No thoughts at any time can dwell in my mind without my permission. I take time to listen and to communicate. I'm patient and understanding, and it's worth working at, and I do. I have talents, skills, abilities, and I'm discovering new talents, skills, and abilities all the time. Ladies, please give yourself the kind, loving, determined support you would give your best friend. And you will harness the power of the ultimate motivator. You will notice dramatic improvement in all areas of your life. And you will feel better and you will accomplish more. Have you ever noticed what separates those highly motivated, highly successful people from other people? People who are motivated to achieve success share certain traits. And I'm going to kind of we kind of went over some of those, so I'm not going to go over them again because I already shared those with you last time, but I think that'll make a difference. But if you found yourself lacking in any of those areas, identify people that you know that possess those traits, and then ask them questions to find out how they went about developing those attributes. Read about famous people who have characters that you would like to improve in, and then see what you can learn from their experiences. You know, Andrew Connie, who was the American steel magnate and philanthropist, said, people who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents are. I think we all know some people that could fall into this category. Some of them might be in your own family or your friends, maybe even you. But what would happen if we could discover how to self-motivate ourselves and perform up to our potential? As we discover some ideas to increase your self-motivation, we can pass these ideas on to our family members, our team members, or maybe our friends. If you want to excel your life in the Mary Kay business, self-motivation is essential. You must know how to motivate yourself. You must be able to keep your spirits high, no matter how discouraging the situation is. That's the only way to get power that you need to overcome these difficulties. Those who are discouraged in difficult times are certain to lose even before the battle is over. So how do you motivate yourself? Great question. I'm going to give you several tips that I have found to be effective in building self-motivation. And I'm going to spend most time on the first tip because I believe that this is something that we have not really, uncovered in the Mary Kay world completely. And I believe it's called knowing your emotional why. I told you what mine was. But do you know your emotional why? What is your passion, your purpose? Why have you been called to leadership in Mary Kay? I can't think of a more powerful source of motivation than a cause you care about. Your cause, which I call your emotional why, can inspire you to give your best in the face of difficulties. It can make you do kind of this seemingly impossible things. Well, while other causes could inspire you temporarily, a cause that matters to you can inspire you indefinitely. It's kind of a spring of motivation that will never, ever dry up. Whenever you think that you've run out of motivation, you can always go back to your emotional why, kind of get a fresh dose of motivation. However, sometimes our emotional why changes because our life changes. Your kids grow up, you put them through college. Maybe that was your emotional why. It may be a time for you sometimes to reassess your emotional why, because it does change as time goes on. I have two very accomplished kids that, they still are really, really important to me, but not as much as it was when they were little and I was influencing them. I've done my work. They're up and running. I do have 5 little grandkids, 6, 5, 4, and 2 3-year-olds next month. So I'm very, very busy, and that's part of mine. But my emotional why was my children, and because I was divorced and was so physical, emotional, and financial supporter of my young children, and I really did want to be an at-home mom. I was able to influence their lives and have that flexibility to be able to be at their activities and do all of those fun things. But that changed now. So really, what is my emotional why today is really twofold. I'm passionate about influencing directors and consultants in Mary Kay by doing retreats like this one. I want to encourage you to build a very large and successful and strong business so that you can have the choices for your family. I'm also passionate about my orphans and widows in Africa. I've been with that project. It's Project Hope Worldwide, and I've been with them for 15 years. I was on the board of directors and got a lot of things set up to where when people give financially, 100% goes to the kids. And that was really important to me because I think there's a lot of charities that they take a big chunk out of, and I wanted this. And we have kids from 3 to 18, and they are truly orphans, and no one can come back and take them and use them as a sex slave or anything else, and they are raised, and we have a church, we have a medical facility, we have a school, we have a administration building, and they're in a compound that is safe because it's in a very vulnerable place in the world, and they are growing to be the next leaders when they go back into their villages where they came from originally as adults so that they're not harmed. When they're children, they get very abused there and sometimes even killed. So it's really important for me. I had pictures of my kids in my office under my fascinating desk, and that motivated me. And my kids were like their pictures. And now you got to know what gets you up and going. I'm very passionate about ministry and in helping women and making a difference in their lives. I know my emotional why. So I'm very motivated. People go, you're retired, you should be relaxing. This is fun to me. I don't need to sit in a chair. I really don't. I want to be with people. I want to be making a difference because my story is kind of a real one. I mean, I wasn't like, da-da, coming out like that. I was from the bottom, trust me. And I hope that I hope that that inspires people that maybe are in similar situations. So I'm going to share with you the importance of knowing your emotional why and the emotional why of your team members that you're wanting maybe to join your team or the team members you have currently so that you can earn your car and you can become a director. Because we need more directors right now in Medicaid. I'm just telling you straight up. And we need more nationals in Medicaid. We do. Because so many are retired. So we need people that have the heart of this company to move up. So I think that'll make a difference. So first of all, do you know your why, your reason, your purpose for being in Mary Kay? Because when you know your why and you are passionate about it, nothing will stop you. Disappointments, delays, discouragement, doesn't matter. You just keep going because you are self-motivated. Many times we address the material why and not the emotional why. The material why might be money, trips, diamonds, rings, car level, etc. But the emotional why connects your business to your life vision and goals. It includes the core values such as freedom or family or better life or social outlet, influencing and helping others, or the desire for personal growth or acquiring knowledge, things like that. Your emotional why might be your kids. You want to stay home with them. You want to be able to influence their lives and provide an education, maybe in a private school. Your why might be to have a career that allows you to be able to live and work according to your own values. Maybe you've had to compromise your values or integrity at your other job. You want to be able to build your Mary Kay business with integrity and to influence and truly make a difference in the lives of your team and eventually beauty consultants in your unit. Maybe your emotional why is to be able to make enough money, but by digging a little deeper, that you can get out of debt so that you can afford fertility drugs and healthcare to start a family. I helped a woman discover that once. She started crying when she told me that. If I was out of debt, I could afford the fertility pills and I could have a family. So it took her, do you see the difference? Instead of I got to make a lot of money in Mary Kay and get out of debt, it was deeper than that. You got to be willing to dig a little deeper to find that out. The why can move you past the hard parts, those valleys, and it can get you to the mountaintop. Here's what I've observed over the years. Women who truly understood their emotional why for joining Mary Kay and moving up the career path got it. Their why motivated them to achieve their business goals. So once you learn your emotional why, you will receive clarity, which helps you to push through the stuck, and it propels you forward to take action. When challenges arise, and they will arise, you will find a way over, under, around, and through anything that stands in your way. Like I said, you develop stick-to-itness. You develop consistency, discipline, work ethic, confidence, belief. You're motivated and you will get results. You know, when I see a director or a consultant losing momentum or getting off track, I remind her of her emotional why. It's a powerful way for them to focus their efforts on the actions that will lead to the realization of their goals. I took every one of my directors through this exercise. I knew their emotional why. All my top achievers in my unit, I knew their emotional why. I was connected because the heart of this business is really knowing someone. And when you know someone and you truly care, you can motivate them. Right now, we got to know you. Because you got to be able to motivate yourself. So when you know your team's why though, it provides you with insight on how to inspire them and you to greater success. When you know your emotional why, you make better choices daily. You focus on the right activities that are going to get you to your goal, not just that busy work, because you can be busy at Mary Kay 24/7. The job is never done, but some of the stuff is not necessary. You're just fooling yourself. It's diversion. You'll get intentional about how you spend your time. You evaluate your results and then determine how to adjust what you are doing to get the desired results that you are wanting. How would it feel to be so on purpose that nothing was going to keep you from reaching your Mary Kay goals because your why was so crystal clear that you could not imagine anything else? Let me ask you a question. How many of you joined Mary Kay originally for some extra cash? That's usually the number one answer people give. But if we dig a little deeper than that, when asked just once, really, few people will give their strongest reason why they're in business. In fact, their first answer rarely describes their emotional why. The reason I wanted to cover this with you today as a top consultant is to be sure that you know your why and help your team members and potential team members discover theirs. Some of you may never taken the time to really investigate the emotion behind your answer. You see, it's the feeling behind the answer that will keep you going when others stop. Some of you might be hiding from the emotion behind it. You may not want to go that deep because you have to feel, but it's that feeling that you want. It's that feeling that will carry you when you're too tired or discouraged to make another phone call, or to hold another appointment, or to coach another hostess, or do another interview, or go to another meeting. It's in the journey that we learn this business. I would write that down. It's in the journey that we learn this business. We learn in the falling down and the getting back up. You will learn to be a better leader because you've weathered the storm and you kept on going. You will understand what your team member is going through, and you will be better able to coach her through it. When your why is bigger than any obstacle standing in your way, you're going to grow a muscle that will carry you through to the other side. Now, clarifying the why. Let me share that with you. The greatest mistake I think made in conversations every day throughout the Mary Kay world is that we're speaking to the wrong why. Clarifying your prospect's emotional why, I think, is really essential, not only for you, but it really helps her get in touch with what she truly wants. When you're in touch with their deepest desires, they will be more willing to enlarge their comfort zone and step into the world of entrepreneurship. Many prospective consultants consider joining Mary Kay for some extra cash. As soon as they say they need cash, we go right into how they can make money holding parties and facials with the reorder business, don't we? Bam, we're right into that. Instead, I want to encourage you to ask a few more questions to help her really understand at a deeper level what is behind her needing the extra cash. So I might say, tell me, how much money do you really need? Or what would you do with that extra cash? Or what would you bring in $1,000 extra cash do for your husband? She might say, well, he could quit the job that's killing him. He is so stressed out, I'm afraid he might have a heart. You see the difference? So if you could bring in an extra $1,000 a month, he could quit the job and find one that he loved and it would be a healthier place for you. Totally different, isn't it? Or it might take more digging to find out it's her children. She wants extra cash so that they can go to a private school and they aren't going to be bullied on the playground anymore. These are actual ones that I have uncovered with people. And that woman said, my kids hate school because they're always bullied. Or she might want to get out of her apartment and buy a home with a backyard so her kids can have a place to play safely and they can get a dog. Or she has an ill child or a parent and she wants to be able to stay at home with them or pay for some additional medical help. Or she might want to pay for her child's college education so they don't have debt when they graduate. It can be a number of different things. What we do many times, though, is we put our own emotional why on others. You want to be careful not to do that. Here's a few questions that might help you discover yours or your team members' emotional why. You want to be curious when you ask these, so you're not asking in a matter of interrogation. And you want your questions to start with what, how, when, where, or who. And it kind of takes them to their feelings then. You want to be aware of your voice because it could be kind of an intimidating conversation if you're not careful. And you want to acknowledge their feelings. Now, you don't want to use these questions in sequence. You want to listen to what she's saying, because it'll kind of guide you to the next question. But these are the questions that I think could help. So sometimes I'll say, so why did you decide to join Mary Kay? And she'll tell me then. And these are questions that I've just found helpful. So at what point in building your business will you truly feel successful? Because I might have a consultant who's been with me for a while, but she doesn't feel like she's really achieved enough. And that's a way I can visit with her a little bit. Or what will be in place in your business and your personal life when you reach this point? Or how will you feel when you achieve this? Or how will your children feel about you when you achieve this? Or what will your spouse think about you when you achieve this? Because sometimes you got to find out who's their motivating person. Is there anyone in your past who didn't feel you could build a successful business who you would like to perceive you as a success? You know, my daughter's dad never heard her speak the entire time she was in Mary Kay, telling her she'll be. And he was even in the town she was at. He never watched one of her videos, never watched anything. He had no idea who she even really was or what she even really did. So for her, for a while, it was to make her dad proud. We got through that because that was not healthy. Because it really doesn't matter what he does, he still doesn't get it. But I say that to you because sometimes that's it. It might be a parent that never perceived that person as being successful. Sometimes I'll say, if you had more than enough money to meet all of your family's needs, what would you do with that additional time or money? Or why are you committed to making your business a success? Or in whose life will you make a difference when you're successful in your business? You see, you're uncovering. It's like you peel an onion to get to that. But can you see what happens when they have an understanding of their emotional why? And when you have an understanding of your emotional why, and in your prospects, you can get to this if they trust you. And if you've built a relationship with them as your customer, you provided good service, you really have cared about them, you probably have a relationship with them. Not always, sometimes it's a new person, but sometimes you do. And you can really get down and find this out. It's a gift to help a woman identify this. She may never have voiced it out loud before. It may really have been hidden in her heart. And she may never have the opportunity to hear herself say it. And if she processes out loud, then it's really going to be her aha moment. Because you took the time to give her this gift. Okay, my second tip I found that was effective to build, that was kind of one. That was a lot, wasn't it? But I hope it helped you, because I think some of you are gonna go, I don't know why, but now's the time to figure it out. I honestly believe that's why I am where I am. I always knew I am. And it changes sometimes. So when you were all thanking me for coming, I'm thinking, oh no, I can thank you, because it was fun for me to make a difference. And it gives me the energy to do it. Okay, second tip I found to build self-motivation is to have a dream, a big dream. I love this quote by Mary Kay Ash in her seminar speech in 1990. I heard her say this: be a dreamer, have a sense of greatness. It has been said that if you can dream it, you can do it. And I believe that. Before your dreams can become a reality, you have to see it in your own mind. See its fulfillment, whatever it may be. I mean, I was blessed to be able to see her on stage and to learn from her and be trained by her. And she was a remarkable woman, and she was a big dreamer. And I think a lot of us, because of COVID and other things, have quit dreaming. I created a dream book of what I wanted my life to look like. And I had a picture of a backyard, because I love my little dogs. And I wanted a little place for them to go. And you know, when I moved from Washington to Georgia, my backyard looked exact, and the house I bought looked exactly like a dream book. I went back and I saw this dream book, and I just keep going, wow. I saw it, I looked at it, I had to visualize it, and those things have come true. And it will for you too. And we used to do these dream books, but we don't do them much anymore. And I hope that you're going to consider creating your own little dream book that you can just flip through. I've had all different sizes, big sizes, small sizes, you know, throughout the years. But it's really a wonderful thing. Having a dream is important, because it's difficult to be motivated if you don't have anything to shoot for. Just think about the people who play golf. Would they be motivated to play? There was no full pay. I don't think so. They need a goal, they need a goal. So what is it that you're dreaming for? But just having a dream is insufficient. Your dream must be big enough to inspire you. It must be realistic enough, but challenging, and it has to stretch your ability beyond your comfort zone. Number 3 is be hungry. Be hungry. Wanting something isn't enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. And I keep talking about these obstacles because I think sometimes we live in a fairyland and think everything's going to be perfect. It isn't. It isn't. I think all day long we do this with stuff. You know that with kids, you know. You thought you got the house clean and then your kid spills the whole gallon of milk. You know, it's life. It is in Mary Kay too. So it's going to be there. To be truly motivated, you need to have hunger, not just desire. Having mere desire won't take you through those difficult times, since you don't want things badly enough. In many cases, hunger makes the difference between your best efforts and the mediocre ones. So how can you have hunger? Your emotional why and your dream, you know, to play big roles here. If you have your why and you care about it and a big dream related to it, you have the hunger inside of you. If you think you are losing your hunger All you need to do is connect to your why again and dream. Let them inspire you and bring your hunger back to you. You know, it's our Mary Kay 59th anniversary year. Wow. What's your big dream for this? I think celebration at our 60th is going to be over the top. You want to be there. You want to be there. I was at the 25th anniversary, and Mary Kay came in a Cinderella carriage. It was just unbelievable. And I know that this 60th is going to be even better. So number 4, run your own race. Run your own race. Comparing yourself to others is an effective way to demotivate yourself. Even if you start with enthusiasm, you will lose your energy when you compare yourself with others. Don't let that happen to you. You have your own race, so how other people perform is irrelevant. Comparing yourself with others is like comparing the performance of a swimmer with a runner. Using the same time standard, you can't. There is a difference. So how can you compare yourself with others? I didn't zoom to the top. I did this. Slow and steady. That's how I did it. I looked around and people were flying. You know, and that wasn't me. It was not my situation. So you can't look to the left. You can't look to the right. You got to run in your own lane. The only competitor you have is yourself. The only one you need to be is you. So have you become the best you that you can be? Number 5, take one more step. Winston Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. When you meet obstacles along the way, there could be a tendency to quit. You may think it's too difficult to move on. You may think that your goal and your dream is impossible to achieve, but this is where you see the difference between winners and losers. Though both of them face the same difficulties, there is one thing that makes the winners difference, and that is the courage to continue. It's a difficult situation. Just focus on taking one more step. Don't think about how to complete the race. Don't think about how many more obstacles are waiting for you. Just focus on taking one more step. Number 6, let go of the past. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Believe it or not, one of the best demotivators is your past. Your past can drag you down before you even realize it. Your past can give you a heavy burden on your shoulders. The good news is the burden, you don't have to carry it. Take it off your shoulders and leave it. You might have made a mistake in the past. You might disappoint others with what you did, but it's over. It's already in the past, and there is nothing that you can do about it. Today's a new day, and you have the chance to start again. No matter how bad your past might be, you still have a bright future ahead, and it's waiting for you. Just don't let the burden of the past stop you. Number 7, spend your time on tasks you enjoy. If you have a choice about where you'll spend your time, then choose something that you'll enjoy and you're good at. When I was a director, I made a list of all of the things I didn't like, and I hired an assistant to do. And I did the things that I wanted to do. And I think it brought me a whole lot more joy. I was willing to eat less fancy food and have an assistant than be miserable. You know, I needed her to do different things that I just didn't like doing. So I got help. But if you're not good at something, you probably don't like it. And so Give it away or don't do it. Do the things that you're good at. Do the things that you're good at. I love analyzing my directors' reports, and I created this report and we did it yesterday with the directors. It just kind of clicks with my brain, and I liked doing it. And so I did that a lot with my directors. I love coaching. I did a lot of coaching with my directors. I like the people part of the business, not the other stuff. So I got people to help me with that other stuff. I enjoy being in the field and training, all of those things. That's what I like to do. I believe I am self-motivated still because I do the parts of the business that I enjoy and that I think I'm good at, and I kind of don't do the other stuff. So what do you love the most about your business? Write that down. What do I love the most about my business? Is it holding parties or team building, customer service or training at your meetings? Whatever you love doing, you're probably really, really good at it. Or you will get good at it by doing it. I remember when my daughter joined Mary Kay 15 years ago, she said she didn't like holding parties. Well, I was really a little bit amazed for her to say that, but mentioned that she hadn't even learned how to hold a party. And I said, I really don't know if you should do Mary Kay if you're not going to do parties, because I don't know how this business will work for you. So I convinced her to do them for 1 month. I watched her first party and I made notes. It's about 2 pages of notes. And then I watched her second party and it was less because she kept adapting. Third party, less. Fourth party, I said, we got it. She had it. It was great. I mean, she got better as time went on, but she got it. Her first month in the business, she was recruiting people. I told you she had a red jacket. She went on target for a car. Her production was $10,000 for her and her team. She said, I guess parties work, Mom. But she hadn't even tried it, and then she became known for the party girl. She still does parties. She does parties 3 a week still. She does some on Zoom. She does some in person, I mean, she drives sometimes 2 hours to go do somebody's party, but she brings people with her. So she's training as she goes. But she fell in love with it because why? She wasn't really good at it. She didn't think she could. Anyway, number 8, take pride in what you're doing. What we do does make a difference. We influence women and we mentor them so that they can either look great by using our products, or we mentor them to achieve all they can with this business as a team member. Mary Kay said, the wonderful feelings that come from helping people gives meaning to your accomplishments. It's easier to be self-motivated when you take pride in what you're doing and you do it to the best of your ability. Whether you're working with team members or customers, you can consciously decide to do your very best. Number 9 is to think about the outcome. In an ideal world, every task would be its own reward. Of course, it doesn't always work like that. You've probably got a bunch of tasks on your list that aren't especially interesting or enjoyable to you, but you want to get them done anyway because they'll take you towards your goals. So try focusing on the outcome. That increases, the increase maybe you're going to get with your commission check, or the recognition you'll get at a quarterly, or the perks that you're going to have at that next level. I was excited to be a senior national sales director, to travel all over the world. And now that's a perk that I'll plow through tasks. Then I can overcome those tasks to be able to have that opportunity to travel. I loved that traveling part. And I was traveling with my girlfriends that I had these relationships with, and it was really, really super fun. And I still get even retired 3 more trips. Isn't that amazing? And we had COVID hit, so we haven't taken any. So I get 3 more. They don't want us doing it, and we have to do it in 5 years. They don't want us to be like really old and falling down and stuff. But they have to do it anyway because we couldn't do them for a while.
Mhm.
So I can still do more. So I think that's gonna be really, really fun. So anyway, and be careful, number 10 is be careful with your use of rewards. Now, some people motivate themselves with rewards. Now, once I've answered emails or I would have a cookie. Now, this is not a good way of doing this. Or I'd have a little piece of candy, have a little dish of candy on my desk. I don't do that anymore, but I used to. I like spiced gumdrops. I did that little task, like a little cookie. I get a little candy. Oh, that was not a good thing to do. So don't reward yourself with food. Try something else, or you might gain weight. Think instead about rewards that are inherent to the task itself. You know, once I answer the emails, I'll feel on top of things for answering the emails, which helps keep my team informed. And then on the end of my week, I would have a celebration. Now I got to do those. That worked good. Like I could, you know, go for a walk, you know, or I could, I like to walk in my neighborhood, or when my kids were little, take a bath with no kids. You know, or when we used to get videos, you know, you could plug them in. I got to pick the video. Sometimes they would, but that was for the week. When I did it for the whole week, I had a little celebration. So I think that that will happen. Instead of seeing the task as yet another item on your list, think of it as really impacting your business or other people. That'll make a difference. Number 11, learn something new. I think we're all natural learners. It's kind of how we survive. Learning is something that we do throughout our lives. If you've ever struggled with technology and you had an aha moment, you'll know how good it feels when you learn something new, right? Y'all had to learn Zoom, or Facebook Live, and all of that. And if you haven't, you got it, but it's not going away. So get on it. But it'll make you feel better about yourself. If there's specific areas in your business where you feel very unmotivated, is it that because you're not confident in that area? You might hate filing receipts for taxes. You know, you might. There's a lot. Get someone to help you do it. Maybe your husband would do it because he sees the benefit. Or get somebody else. You have a friend that's really likes that. Trade with her and you do something for her, or hire someone to do it. You know, we all have things we don't like. I know that is the truth. So we got to do that. Switch. Every time you switch to something like Facebook or your phone, also, you're breaking your momentum. Because sometimes you just, I have a big hourglass that I put on my desk. So if I'm working on a project, I'll work for an hour. I turn that over because after an hour, you kind of lose it. You know, like I kind of, even after 2 days of talking like this, I kind of, what have I said? What happened? So I have to take little breaks after an hour. I go and do something. I either take my dog outside or I go get the mail, and then I come back and then I can go at it again. And I flip my little hourglass upside down and do that. That's how I operate, so I don't get like crazy. And I don't just like go over to something else. Well, anyway, in closing, what we say when we talk to ourselves is so important. So some self-talk for putting yourself into action is, I put success into action by putting myself into action. That can be your self-talk thing. Because I choose to be successful, I choose to take action right now, today. I get things done on time. I enjoy motivating myself, and I'm good at putting myself into action. I'm telling you, you tell yourself this enough, and you will be. I had to tell myself, I eat healthy. You know what? I eat healthy now. I do. I tell myself, I talk to myself all the time because I'm with me all the time. I read my goals daily. I have a clear picture of my goals in my mind at all times. I know where I'm going and how to get there. I know what I want and I know how to achieve it. I know that taking action on my plan sheet is a secret to my success. I take action every single day. I know that getting things done is nothing more than taking one step at a time. So I take the next step and I keep on moving. I refuse to let obstacles stand in my way. I solve the problems and I move past it. I never give up. I never give in. I choose, keep moving, and I choose to win. I get things done because I am in control of my goals, my time, and my every action that I choose to take. Right now, at this moment, I make the choice to succeed. Right now, I make the choice to take action. I choose to take action now. You know, when you can't seem to get anywhere and you don't know what to do next, when you can't seem to get moving and you get stuck and stay there, it's usually the person behind the mirror that's doing it. It's not the business, it's not the products, it's not the goals that you have. It may just be you holding yourself back or fighting your own progress. When that happens, take a break. Look at what you're doing from a fresh viewpoint. Ask yourself the questions. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Your answer will tell you what to do next. I think the most important thing that you can do is to take yourself and your business seriously. What are you doing is not only a way to help others look better, but perhaps live a life of their dreams by sharing this opportunity with them. It's also a way of life that can change your entire future. So make every day count. That means taking every action step that you can take to make this opportunity work for you. If you want to achieve the best from yourself, you have to put your life into action. That's not about what we're going to do next week. It's about what you're going to do right now. Today, not tomorrow, today. I hope you'll read over your notes and put them into practice, and you will begin to find yourself more focused, on track, moving forward, and really actually having a great time in doing it. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Some habits are to come up front and to so if the director wants to be in charge of that, that would be great. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off.
Let's do this one.
And then I'll